So the cousin actually knew of me, but obviously she started feeling like the main character because I mean, she was his cousin. That's family, that's blood. But then also, ugh, ugh, oh. Batung. Who said you can't be a baddie and a wife at the same dang time? Ang sabay di. Ega manilenga, nega maniza. Ega manilenga, nega maniza. Surely I need to go out tonight. Don't you think? Surely. Hello my sugar bingabungas, welcome back to my channel. Shout out to Juicy Kindness who gave me the business. She said, sis, we need you up in these streets, so please be more consistent and trust me. I hear you, Juicy Kindness. I hear you, my loves. I hear you, my sugar bingabungas. I read all your comments and that is why I respond to as many comments as I possibly can. But guys, please understand that we're doing our best as content creators, as YouTubers. Life happens. People need to mourn, people need to grieve, people need to take a break, people need to take a breather, people need to bring themselves back towards themselves. But also life can be really hectic, especially when you have jobs and businesses and so many other things going on. I sometimes do wish I relied solely on content creation to make my point, but I'm not built that way, and this isn't to bash anybody whose life is set up that way. I love it for you. I'm actually here for it. I mean, content creation on its own is a job and a half. It's a lot of work, but you get to film and publish whenever you want to. You get to go on vacations and relax and still get your point. I mean, what more? But you know, we're different. Our lives are set up differently. We have different goals and different purposes that we need to fulfill. And I've never been one to believe in doing one thing. I love running around like a headless chicken. It works for me. And a lot of people have talked me out of it. A lot of people have told me that I'm just going to be a mess and things aren't going to work out because I want to be a jack of all trades, but I'll end up being a master of none. But it's worked for me. I've thoroughly enjoyed proving them otherwise. It's been so satisfying, and I will continue to do so because it's satisfying for me as well, most importantly. You know what I mean? So please understand that we do get super busy. Life gets hella hectic. There are other things we need to tackle, but we do try our best to give you quality content as often as we possibly can. Now that we've gotten that out the way, I recently came across a post that read as follows. Please be good to your boyfriend. Unless he's beddy, then disappoint him, break his heart, stomp on it, and eat it up. And I just have to say, this resonated with my soul because, oh my goodness, there's this petty guy who did a number on me. This isn't any tribalistic BS. We're not about that life. We don't discriminate in this house. We love and appreciate everybody, regardless of race, regardless of ethnicity, regardless of which tribe you belong to, regardless of skin color. We love everybody. So don't even come here with any kind of hatred or discrimination. Please, we don't allow that here. But that post reminded me of this petty guy that I dated in varsity, and I just had to share this experience so my brothers and my sisters could learn a thing or two. So I met this guy at the University of Pretoria, Tuckies, during orientation week. So this was during my first year in January, Nogal. He was one of the few people who were assigned to help freshmen or newbies get around campus and get all the information that they needed. So he wore a t-shirt written, "Ask me." And I thought to myself, okay, I'm gonna ask you, all right. And I thought he was fine. Looking back, I'm just like, what? But baby, when you're young, you misjudge a lot of things and people. You make a lot of mistakes. So I asked him for a pen, and he gave it to me, and he touched my hand. His touch lingered on my soft, vulnerable, gullible, naive, inexperienced skin. Oh, cricket. Yo! fireworks. The chemistry, psh, out of this world. And at that moment, I realized I had met my husband. Obviously, he asked for my number after that interaction. We was cricket when. Do you know how fireworks work? Chemistry. So we started texting via BBM. It escalated and we started calling each other. And I was like, yo, Yazin, we are vibing. This guy is the one. He was so calm, so mellow, so cool, so smart, so drama free. He was really, really perfect. We bumped into each other again at a Dr. Malinga concert. I was crazy about Dr. Malinga. Still love him, adore him. He's brilliant, hella talented, love his energy, his voice, get out of here. Anyway, we were vibing there as well. Oh, cricket. I'm just like, yo, I am so blessed. I had just left home. I had spent 5 years of my entire high school career with a complete bum and F-boy. Finally, God is answering my prayers. This guy was the complete opposite of F-boy. He focused solely on me. He just wanted me to be good all the time. He wanted to spend time with me all the time. And I was just like, finally. I used to wonder where my boyfriend was because he wouldn't tell me what's going on in his life, and I'd bump into him here and there with this one and that one. Lana ngiyazi ukuthi ngimephi kufunwa mina ngedwa. You know, I know where I stand with this guy. He's all about me. He's all for me. He's into me, and I love it here. We made our relationship official. We were exclusive. We were in a committed, monogamous relationship, and I was here for it. It was everything great. The first 7 months were heaven. Heaven. Everything that I have right now, minus the BS that came after those 7 months. After those 7 months, things began to change. Every time I had to go home, siyaqaban. All hell would break loose because he suspected that every time I went home, I went back to F-boy, which was like, what? Why would I go back to that when I have what I have? When I have you, I chose you. Furthermore, you know that I'm not the cheating type. If I'm into you, I'm into you and I'm all about you. Every other man does not exist. I kid you not. I don't care how they look, what they have. I do not see them. I put this on my life, and if you know me, you know this. But he genuinely believed that there was still something going on between F-boy and I. Regardless of what I told him, I couldn't convince him otherwise, and I wasn't about to force that down his throat. I mean, you ought to trust me like I trust you. And I started to regret that I told him about F-boy. But I mean, when you guys are still getting to know each other and people ask you about previous relationships, you open up because you want to be honest and transparent from the get-go as it sets the tone. So I started to regret having told him about F-boy because I'm like, why are you now using this information against me? I'm not even talking to this person anymore. This person is practically dead to me. Every time you go home, I don't start a fight and start assuming that you're gonna start messing with Lebo, Matakala, Khonsi, Lerato, Karabo, Huitimang, and all of those other people that you've been with because I trust you and I know they're all in the past. But sometimes we make the mistake of opening up too much and we give them information that they may try to use against us. But also if you open up to a person, a decent, mature person who understands that we all go through things, we all have a past, then he doesn't do that to you. So it also depends on the type of person that you're dealing with. And this is the only person I dated seriously before you. We all know that high school relationships aren't serious. That was just matlakala, that was a joke. But you know, it came with a lot of lessons. I experienced a lot and I learned a lot from that relationship, but it wasn't anything. So I didn't understand why he was doing that at the time. But you grow up and you realize, people project. Oftentimes, when they start suspecting things that aren't there, it's because they're doing those things. Things continued to get sour. When I tell you that after those 7 months of heaven, we went straight to hell, I mean it. Now he's no longer communicating his whereabouts. I don't get the acknowledgement and the respect that I deserve. So this one time I let him know I'm going out with my girls. We're going to Stones. Love you. Good night. And he's like, okay, sharp. I do my thing. And as I'm doing my thing on the dance floor, because when you go out, you show out. Don't you dare bore us and sit in that corner and frown and make everybody else feel like ugh and judge everybody for shaking their badankadank. Shake yours now. You have yours, mus. Next thing I spot my man with his crew and I'm like, how? He told me he was sleeping, mus. But okay, I'm not doing anything wrong. I want him to have fun as well. So there's no beef. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm actually happy that he's here because I'll get to chill with my man, you know? He approaches me. We talk for a bit. We dance. But I can tell he's annoyed because, I mean, I was dancing. I was having the time of my life. And obviously you attract attention when, you know, everybody wants to join in and, you know, get a piece of that positive energy because we're all here to be happy, to be merry, to celebrate life. You know, so there were men and women, but there wasn't anything funny going on. That night we leave together and we go to his place. On our way to his place, his phone rings, but he doesn't answer. Now that's a first. He answers his phone every single time, especially when he's with me because it's usually his parents calling or his sisters and I have a relationship with all of them. And we would talk every now and then. So what's the matter? If it isn't your mom, your dad, or one of your sisters calling, who is it? Your cousin? Which one is this one? Which cousin is this one now? Why am I only finding out about her now? I know she just traveled all the way from Limpopo and now she's in Pretoria, so she just wanted to see me, but I'll text her and I'll let her know that I'll see her tomorrow. I'm like, interesting. Hi. Matsatsi atsamai. Time goes on, okay? Things are a bit rocky, but you know, we're pushing, we're forcing matters. But I'm still a good, faithful girlfriend and I still let him know everything that's happening in my life. I let him know my whereabouts but he's completely stopped doing so. And then I noticed that he stopped doing so that he would know where I was and pop up. Every time I told him that I would be going to a particular place, he'd pop up at that very same place. So he was keeping tabs on me. He was following me. It gets worse. He got his friends, his goons, to follow me around as well. And whenever I was with the opposite sex, it was a huge deal. Regardless of whether I'm doing schoolwork with a classmate, or I'm tutoring one of my students, or I was just chilling with my good friend Tapelo, who he knew and had no problem with, but all of a Sunday, there's an issue. This one time he gave me the business about me not making enough time for him. Mind you, it's exam time. We see each other every day. Sometimes unintentionally because you do pop-ups on me, but we see each other every single day on campus, on the streets. I can't visit you right now. I need to study. I need to write my examinations and I need to flourish. Oh no, that's a problem now. So of course I felt guilty and I sacrificed a night and I visited him. Mind you, he was done writing his exams, so he was being selfish. When I got to his place, he was busy cleaning up and I saw a pair of gold earrings. Before I even asked him, he was like, oh, those belong to my sister. She was here yesterday. I'm like, since when do your sisters visit you? We're student accommodation. Grown, married women. They visit you and they sleep over? This is happening in my mind, guys, because at the time, I trust this guy. Remember, we are in a monogamous relationship. I trusted him. I had never seen anything dodgy prior to that cousin incident. So I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt again. But God and your ancestors will let you know, you are being dribbled. But utazingani, because you don't want to believe that this is actually happening. And for me, it was like, oh, not this ish again. I thought you were the one. What is going on? I didn't want to believe it. So I ignored my gut. I ignored God, the universe, my ancestors, my instincts, everything. And I was just like, no, this is my man. I believe in him. I believe in indoda. Yum. Furthermore, his sisters had no piercings, guys. Like, I knew his sisters very well. They had no piercings. They weren't into earrings at all. They were super, super plain, and they'd never visit him, like, ever. So what koninte shayamanzi, something was definitely fishy, but I didn't want to believe it. Hi. So I finished writing my exams. Now it's his turn to come visit me at my place. So he does so. Hi, gumnandi, gumnandi, gumnandi. We're trying to rekindle that spark. Phone rings again. Phone rings again. He doesn't pick up. Why? Penduli phone. Answer your phone. Pick up the phone. Answer your phone right now. Put this person on loudspeaker. Who's calling us? Hawe malo. It's his cousin. Yet again.
Oh, my land. Oh.
Why, lo cousin enga pendula? Why do you never want to talk to this cousin? I mean, they're your cousin. And I want to meet her. That's famo, mus. I know she's just really being annoying now. I mean, she knows I'm busy. She knows I'm with you. So why does she keep calling? I'm like, that's family. Family can call anytime. We can speak to her. So babili, it's not like she's interrupting anything. It's okay. He's like, nah. She's being annoying. She's being a nuisance. And then he switches off his phone. Aibo. Phone yethu. Why are you switching off our phone? That's our phone, mus. My phone is yours. Yours is mine. That's always been the case. Why are we now ignoring certain calls and I'm not allowed to see if it's actually cousin who's calling? You could ask for my phone anytime. You could use it. You could go through it. What's mine is yours and vice versa. So what is the issue? It's always been that way. What's going on? What has changed? He's like, hey, a woman, you're dampening the mood. We were having so much fun. Let's get back to that. Ignore this. I'm like, no, I'm not going to ignore this because something is fishy and I'm not into fishy smells. So you better tell me what's going on now or get out. Oh, but of course, he resorts to their famous go-to and he calls me crazy, neglecting the fact that I'm just reacting to the disrespect he's been feeding me. So I just went crazy like that. What did you do? No. You're over-exaggerating things. You're being melodramatic. And they make you believe that you're actually crazy. And you know how they make you question your own sanity? And you start to think, maybe I am blowing things out of proportion. He did that. So I grab his phone and I run to the bathroom with it because I'm trying to see what's popping. When I get to the bathroom, the battery has been removed. I go back to the room and I find him laughing like ndim ulol. I'm the joke here. He was laughing his booty off and I was just like, wow. Sengislima ngaleyo ndlela. Clearly this guy has lost all respect for me. What am I still doing here? So I ask him, is this a joke to you? Am I a joke to you? If I did the same thing, how would you feel? Aha! Got him. They can dish it, but they can't take it. A man can cheat on you 1,000 times. Cheat once, you'll see. Wena, as his woman, cheat once. He will die. So he tries to soften me up and he says, no, I removed the battery because I just didn't want any more drama. I can see that this phone is just causing a whole lot of commotion and havoc and turmoil. And I just didn't want that to continue. So I removed it so we could just dead this issue right here and right now. How are you deading an issue that we haven't resolved? I'm not satisfied. I'm not okay. I need answers. You're not giving me answers. But sharp, I calm down and because I really want to fix this. I have faith in this person, and I still don't want to believe that what's happening is actually happening. So I let it go. The next day, this person calls again, and guess what? He ignores her call yet again. Man. Hi. But luckily, I managed to get a glimpse of the caller ID. So when the forensic scientist / detective in me kicked in, I knew exactly who to investigate. I go through the socials. Mugel busy. This girl has been busy. Let's call this guy Slow Poison because he was very cunning and calculating like a snake. He'd sit quietly in his corner and you wouldn't suspect anything. You'd actually look at him and think, so peaceful, so perfect. Meanwhile, he's waiting for you to let your guard down. He's waiting for that perfect opportunity so he can pounce and spit at you with his venom. Now, Slow Poison and I never followed each other on any of our social media platforms. It never even crossed my mind to stalk him because he was so perfect. But the day I decided to stalk him, nangu ukamkhelo / cousin. Ubhizi. Balavi Davi no cousin, guys. Like, they have been all up in each other's grills with this cousin of his. And the crazy part is they were actually cousins. And now trust me, I know cousins make dozens, but I didn't expect him to do me like that. They were messing with each other. They were doing the nasty with each other behind my back. So the cousin actually knew of me, but obviously she started feeling like the main character because, she was his cousin. That's family. That's blood. But they'd also, and that was the final straw for me. So in conclusion, ladies and gentlemen, do your research. I don't care how perfect the person seems to be. Do your research before you even dive into that relationship. But obviously I was young, I was naive, I was gullible, I was inexperienced. I just didn't understand the importance of trusting one's gut. Had I trusted my gut from the get-go, I wouldn't have gotten into this entire mess. But you live and you learn. Furthermore, I really want us to discuss this phone issue because I know a lot of people tend to hide behind the importance of privacy when it comes to that particular issue. No, I have my private things in here. Nobody ought to know about them regardless of the fact that they're my partner and vice versa. I don't care. I don't want to go through his phone. I don't want to hurt myself. What do you mean you don't want to hurt yourself? You don't want to know what the person you're getting intimate with is doing? Once you get into a relationship with someone, everything that person does affects you, whether you like it or not, whether you want to believe it or not. Moreover, if you guys vowed to commit to each other, whatever belongs to that person now belongs to you and vice versa. There are no secrets. There is no privacy. Personally, I would never be with someone whose phone I can't touch. Not because I'm snooping around and I'm trying to catch you doing something, but let's say I want to use your phone for whatever reason and you freak out or that becomes an issue in our relationship, then deuces, you are not for me. I hear a lot of people saying, no, I don't want to go through anybody's phone. I don't want to break my own heart. Why are you with a person whose gadgets, whose things you can't go through and you're already feeling, Uguti, there's something going on, you might get heartbroken or disappointed. You're already suspecting something. You're already constantly on the edge of your seat thinking that you will get heartbroken if you go through his or her things. Then why are you with that person? Like, don't you guys love yourselves? Aren't you only supposed to be with the person that you trust, who doesn't hide things from you? Aren't you supposed to be super comfortable when it comes to anything pertaining to your partner? So why are you okay with not knowing what he does behind your back? You're basically saying, sharp, they could do whatever they want to do as long as I don't find out. Where's your self-respect? So let's talk about it. Hit me up in the comments. Let's engage and unpack this phone issue. Are you all for your partner gaining access to your phone and vice versa? Or are you completely against it, and why?